Good.
Ask a parent and they might say,
my relationships with my children are absolutely the most important thing in my life, even more important than my relationship with my partner.
The joy of being parents, I don't know anyone who says it's easy, but the reward is amazing.
We have a lot of gratification from just sort of raising these like beautiful boys who are doing like amazing things every day.
but not everyone wants to be a parent. And research suggests those without kids are actually happier.
Parenthood is like a roller coaster ride of ups and downs, of highs and lows. And life without children is simply much more stable. It has much less variation.
Meet Amy Blackstone, author of Child-Free by Choice. She herself has chosen to be child-free. She's also been conducting research on the subject for the last 12 years.
By my mid-30s, I had 3 friends share with me that they were pregnant themselves. I started to really worry that something was wrong with me. What I was relieved to discover is that there is no scientific evidence that there's a thing called a maternal instinct that drives women to become mothers.
There are legitimate reasons why being a parent could make you less happy. First, there's money. The average cost of raising a child from birth to 17 in the US was estimated to be over $233,000 in 2015. That doesn't include things like a college education.
We have made parenthood so stressful here in the United States.
Meet Jennifer Glass, a demographer and mother of 2 studying the relationship between parenthood and well-being around the world.
Generally, having kids does not make you happier. There's a happiness bump right after a healthy baby is born, and that tends to dissipate over the course of a year. And after that time point, what we see is gradually diverging happiness between parents and non-parents in the United States.
In general, fewer people are choosing to have children. In 2019, the American birth rate hit a record low.
Today, about 15% of women reach their 40s without ever having had a kid.
For some, the logistical hurdles to becoming parents can be even greater. Johnny and Seb have been married since 2011 and have 2 sons by surrogacy. They faced many challenges bringing their eldest, Vaughn, into the world.
It took us a little over 3 years actually to successfully get pregnant and have our first son. First time around, it was estimated that it would cost roughly around like $90,000. The final number was probably close to like $180K.
That was just the cost of surrogacy. After 2 surrogates, 3 egg donors, and 4 attempts, they successfully brought Vaughn into the world. They welcomed Aston in December 2019.
In the end, it was of course not the easiest to kind of handle all of the emotional issues and the financial issues that cropped up because of it.
By now we're fairly relaxed because I think we are fortunate enough to have jobs that allow us to put enough money to the side to allow for exactly those expenses, including a good education. Raising children, as we have by now experienced, is connected to a lot of extra burden, and you cannot live your own life anymore.
It's thankless, really,
right? It's all about the children, and you want to give them the best set of opportunities, you want to see them happy all the time, and it's at the cost of your own individual life.
I am personally very excited by the notion of raising kids who, whether they be gay, straight, or anything else, I am just so ready to support that and help them along and not give them kind of the struggles and challenges that I had with my parents.
I know this is very cliche, but you look into their faces and they look at you and smile back at you. That offsets so much of the maybe personal level of happiness reduction that it's kind of okay.
Donnie and Tom got married in college and very shortly after graduation, unexpectedly got pregnant.
It's like I have this body, but it's no longer mine. It's like I'm pumping and I'm breastfeeding and I have cramps. It's just the whole ordeal. And so it was really hard to feel that sense of happiness. So that's where I had to shift and find out my hobbies, what I like to do, and getting into self-care and just pursuing different dreams that I had.
It was during this period of self-reflection that Danya realized her passion for entrepreneurship and started her own business.
That's when I started to become happy, you can say, fulfilled.
Having a family has been always my goal since I was a small kid. So, having kids, having a wife, that's like fulfillment. And having that fulfillment, that's what gives me happiness.
It does get a lot when it comes up to paying for all these things, especially diapers and wipes and clothes. Our kids are giants, they grow out of everything. And so it's just this constant spending.
Being a parent, it's wonderful, and I've grown a lot. Small things I learn about, being patient, being loving, being caring.
It's unmatched, having a child. Of course, there are those days where things get rough, but I wouldn't trade it for the world.
We love our children. I would never in a million years say that parents don't adore their children, they don't want the best for their children, and they don't feel that their children are incredibly important sources of life satisfaction for them. But that's not the same thing as happiness. It's not the same thing as financial well-being or good physical health or good emotional health.
Jennifer attributes the financial difficulty of raising children in the U.S. to modern social structures.
People generally live in cities. They have to work away from home for long hours. They have to find substitute care for their children. Partnerships are less stable. And wages for many, many people have been stagnant or falling, while the costs of preparing children for the future labor market have escalated dramatically.
Jennifer says Americans frequently mention this notion that, quote, if you can't afford kids, you shouldn't have them.
It ignores the fact that our labor force does not provide jobs that pay enough for people between the ages of 18 to 40 to have kids.
On top of that, there's the gender wage gap. Women may lose over $400,000 over a 40-year career compared to their male counterparts, and minority women stand to lose more than double that.
Parents in the U.S. are far less happy than parents in European nations that have all kinds of supports for parents. It really does take a village to raise a child, and if we care about children and their future and their role in our society, I think we have to think of the rearing and the caring for children as a collective activity, and that's what many, frankly, socialist countries do that we fall down on. We think of parenthood as this very individual thing that parents themselves are entirely responsible for. And the research shows that that contributes to a lack of happiness for them.
With the financial and emotional challenges American parents face, it's understandable why some folks are child-free by choice.
Do I ever feel like I'm missing out by not having kids? The short answer to that question is no, but I do recognize that there are some things that I am missing out on. And the same is true in that I didn't choose a career as an astronaut.
Parenthood is like a roller coaster ride of ups and downs, of highs and lows. And life without children is simply much more stable. It has much less variation.
You know, I got to get up late because I don't have anyone I have to take care of in the morning, and I'm gonna eat when I'm hungry as opposed to eating on a schedule with someone else in my house. There are all those little small things that I think contribute to our daily sense of satisfaction and happiness that make a difference.
Since child rearing is so pricey in the US, you might think that a child-free couple has heaps of savings.
If you look at how we spend our money, we donate more money to causes that matter to us than parents do. So it's not that we're only spending our money on ourselves. And because we're not spending our money rearing kids, many of us are able to sock away money for retirement in a way that parents may not be able to do. I know that's definitely true for me and my husband. That's a huge priority for us.
My financial well-being would be better off if I had not had children. And that's true of all child-free people in the United States. They are financially better off.
The question of happiness in parenthood really comes down to a question of autonomy and choice. When people are given the autonomy and the choice to make the choice that's right for them, and when they're supported in that choice, that they are fulfilled and happy.